Prime Minister Ingham forced to make a diversion on his urban transformation and redevelopment tour of Over the Hill initiative yesterday, saying the new focus on what is commonly known as the inner city is part of the government's plan to empower residents was applauded by some residents as historic. Prime Minister Ingham also told them he's moving in on areas considered strongholds for the Progressive Liberal Party to bring change. Shanique Miller has more from yesterday's Baines and Grantstown walkabout.
Prime Minister Ingham delivering on a promise he made last week, assessing over-the-hill communities to bring about urban transformation. For more than 2 hours Wednesday, he did just that. Now, what was supposed to be the first stop, Hospital Lane, was averted after police deemed it too hostile.
Gold rush, and who don't like it? Ted Perry. Ted Perry, better jobs, we need better jobs.
PLP supporters lined both sides of the street with placards in tow, waiting for the Prime Minister's arrival, with Bain and Grantstown MP Dr. Bernard Nottage leading a group of his colleagues. National Security Minister Tommy Turnquest would come to speak with Dr. Nottage, urging him to lead his supporters to another area to avoid conflict.
If y'all can stay here, we'll go elsewhere.
Yeah, but we do intend to stay.
Yeah, but what we don't want, something that we can't control.
Neither do we.
And the only way that we can make sure that we can control. The only way we can make sure that we control it is that we don't have our supporters clashing.
We ain't come for no clash.
However, the Prime Minister's motorcade, which included party candidate John Bostwick and F&M supporters on flatbed trucks, cars, buses, and many on foot, continued throughout the constituency. At times, the Prime Minister too got out and walked, even stopping to talk to residents, assessing the needs of the community. Now, once at Hay Street, Mr. Ingham stopped at the basketball court and spoke with residents.
I grew up in Cooperstown, Abaco. I came to Nassau every summer to live with my mother and my stepfather, who lived on Market Street in rented accommodation opposite Feely Demara's place. When I eventually came to Nassau to live, my mother lived in Quintine Alley off Wolf Road in a rented accommodation. We moved when I got 18 or 19 years of age. That's when I first started to live in a place with indoor plumbing, when I was 18 or 19 years of age. I've had an interest in the poor of this country and the downtrodden, and that's why you found that in office we've done so many different things. When I came to office, ordinary janitresses in the school system were being paid $90 a week by the PLP. Nowadays, $210 a week minimum. Yes. There was no minimum wage in the Bahamas. The PLP never considered putting a minimum wage in effect. The F&M did that.
Then residents candidly put their own questions and concerns to the Prime Minister.
Neighborhood was run by the PLP for the past 30-something years. I was one of Christie generals along with Scoochie on the side there. Right now we're really looking for change. We just don't want right now that somebody come into our community and tell us things, and then when election goes by, it's nothing happening. The reason why we want to give this area to the F&M now is because the F&M deserve a chance now. The PLP had too much time and they do nothing.
Give us that one chance and we will show you better we can tell you.
Dr. Nottage claims the Prime Minister has no right to lead an initiative through Baines and Grantstown so soon before the general election.
No. There's no initiative to breathe new life in the over-the-hill communities. There is no initiative. The first initiative was urban renewal, and they cancelled urban renewal. So they have no intention of rehabilitating this area. That's my intention. That's what I am going to do when I get elected on May the 7th. That's going to be my first priority. Because they're telling people around here that I did nothing. But I can't do anything because I didn't get any help from the government.
To which Mr. Ingham responded.
I assume that if they were interested in the area, they would come without me. They were represented. They'd come and hold meetings at the park. They'd talk to people. They would show them what it is that they want to do for them. They would demonstrate that they are concerned about them and interested in their welfare. They won't wait for me to come down to try to stop you from coming or to interfere with my coming.
What happened with those PLPs, they do not speak for the entire community. Decent people in this community are hurting and we need help. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Ingham rode over the hill, according to him, during the budget debate with Mr. Christie to cut the boundary. And if Mr. Christie didn't grab a truckload of PLP to run Ingram out the community then, I don't see why Dr. Nordich would do it now. And anybody who is running help away from us does not have our best interests at heart.
Well, the FNM's Golden Gates candidate Winsome Miller calls on her PLP opponent Shane Gibson to apologize for his apparent supporters' behavior on nomination day. Miller claims during the PLP motorcade violence was reportedly simulated against the FNM. We're told that the image of someone wearing FNM paraphernalia was run over by a car. She also said it's a sad day when the PLP leader Perry Christie and Deputy Philip Davis aren't the first to condemn the troubling action reportedly by supporters. Miller again calls on Gibson to apologize and disown the acts, saying candidates should stop violence and not condone it. Meantime, days following that action, which was posted on the social media, Prime Minister Ingram said it's no joking matter.
It's terrible. I'm surprised they haven't said anything about it yet, but it's not the kind of jokes to crack. It's not the kind of thing you do because you encourage violence. There's no need for violence in this country. We have a very democratic country. Everybody has an opportunity to vote for the party of their choice. In the case of the FNM, there is no recrimination. We don't threaten anybody. You'll hear the PLP going around threatening civil servants, threatening this, what we can do if we win, blah, 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 blah. FNMs will do things like that. It's a democratic country. We're not like that. We want everybody to be able to stand up and be exactly what they want to be. We'd like them to vote FNM, but if they don't want to vote FNM, no harm will come to them.
Now, ZNS News called Golden Gates MP Shane Gibson regarding the issue. He expressed disappointment but said that 2 PLP supporters are also suffering from wounds after being hit in the eye and hand, allegedly by an FNM supporter. He says he does not condone this, nor does he condone what he saw of an effigy in red on the social media network. Gibson also calls on the FNM to apologize to the PLP supporters who were attacked. Last night, the Progressive Liberal Party had scheduled a town meeting at the Wyndham Nassau Resort Cable Beach. ZNS had set up for the broadcast, as well as other technicians. Present at Cable Beach were the leader and deputy leader, the Right Honorable Perry Christie and Philip Davis, as well as other party officials. And no audience was there at the time. However, the production team were told the event was cancelled. It is possible that there was a hotel scheduling conflict, as there was an event next door as well. Party officials did not comment when asked why the town summit was cancelled. Tonight, the PLP is holding a rally in Hatchet Bay, Eleuthera. The Democratic National Alliance says if you want a better Bahamas, then you must vote DNA. Last night at its Killarney town meeting, leader Branville McCartney criticized Prime Minister Ingram for announcing he has a 10-year plan for the Bahamas after never saying anything along this line reportedly during his entire tenure in Parliament. Regarding Mr. Perry Christie, who is promising to implement national health insurance, Mr. McCartney says he couldn't implement it during the PLP's 5 years in office and still, in his view, has not released a plan.
Bahamians want better. They want a better Bahamas, and they are tired of what they got. Things ain't good. And if things were good, they'll be living it now. After 20 years of you and Hubert Ingram and Perry Christie, Bahamians have risen up, and now they want better. They want to go green and they want to vote DNA.
Now the DNA begins its series of rallies tonight in the east at Bahamas Harvest Church parking lot, Prince Charles Drive. Well, with the country's debt now at more than $4 billion, Minister of State for Finance Vargo Lang says that's unlikely to substantially change, and he says with good reason.
From the time we achieved independence, we have been growing our debt every single year. Not one single year did the Bahamas not increase its debt. In fact, if we were counting record debt levels in the country, each year was a record level of debt. Each year, because each year we added to our debt. And we grew it and we grew it. So debt increase is not a new phenomenon in the Bahamas at all. It is not for any state, most states in the world that may not, for instance, be oil states.
Minister Lang was a guest speaker at Rotary Club of West Nassau's weekly luncheon meeting today at Great Cliff Restaurant. He highlights an important fact, however, noting that the government is indeed servicing its debt obligation.
What is true is that you will not always have the level of debt increase as you have seen in these extraordinary times. Because in good times, for instance, our deficit growing, for instance, between 1992 and 2002, we had deficit growth of the level of 0.1%, 0.2%, not 3%, not 2%. And so in good times, you have the ability to do less deficit spending than you do in some of these very difficult times. And as it relates to your servicing your debt, it's no different in many ways from your home situation. Many of us build homes that are many times more expensive than the income that we generate. The bank gives us a $500,000 loan on a $100,000 salary.